Obsidian is an absolutely amazing tool that I have been using every single day for I think the last 3 years or more at this point, and it's safe to say that without it, I don't even know how I would be able to keep track of everything I'm doing in my daily life. However, when you're just starting out, all the many possibilities you have with Obsidian can be a bit overwhelming, and it can therefore be very tempting to try and prematurely optimize your workflow by trying to adopt all these state-of-the-art learning methods like settle casting and tons of plugins and data view and so on. And if you're just starting out, I would personally just really recommend that you just try and start really basic. Don't download any plugins, don't try and do a structure, just set up some nodes and find a workflow that works for you. And if you then begin to encounter problems that cannot be solved without a plugin, then of course you can begin expanding slowly, but in general I would suggest trying to keep it as minimal as possible. Only download plugins or extensions for the specific use cases you need, instead of just flooding your vault with plugins. With all that being said, when you are new to something, getting a little bit of inspiration from how others are doing it can be helpful. So I will just quickly now introduce you to how I set up my vault. It's a very simple setup that is possible to expand on in the future if you desire with these more advanced methods. So we have just opened Obsidian. We are creating a new vault. We call it YouTube demo. I will find a location for it. It will be in documents and we create it. Okay, so this is our starting panel. We can just remove these for now. So let me try and start with introducing why I'm doing it the way that I'm doing. By default in Obsidian, every new file goes into the vault directory. So let's say I am doing something on Newton mechanics. I'm taking a class or something. And let's say I also want a nice picture of Newton in there. Now you have both the file and the image here on this outer layer of the vault. And then you need to begin spending a bunch of time sorting. So I could make a folder, physics, put Newton in there, and I guess also put the image in there. Or I could make a subfolder for Newton. And in my opinion, this just becomes slightly tedious to deal with. So I want to do it differently. So the way my vault is structured is I have a few folders. I have some for example, personal, and I use numbers here to just have it get sorted automatically. I'm gonna have knowledge as number 2, maybe projects as number 3, and so on. And then I have 2 more folders, and they are the important ones. One called unsorted, and one called files. What I didn't do is that I go in settings, under files and links, and here where it says default location of new nodes, I specify that should be in the unsorted folder. And default location for new attachments, I specify in a folder, and that should be in files. Now the benefit of this is, let's say we want to make a node for physics. This is a node we are in general using quite regularly, so I put it here in my knowledge folder. Physics. I cannot type. And then we want to have a subnode in there for Newton. I make a node like this and click on it so it's created. But you see, it's no longer filling up my space here. It's also not in my knowledge. This one is just the upper level physics, but this new node has ended up in unsorted. And I don't really need to think about it. I just know, oh, I need something with physics. I can click on Newton. And let's say I again want to add the image of Sir Newton. This also is not filling up the space here. It's now in files. And I don't really need to think about it at all. It kind of just sorts itself. And if you're a bit like me, I tend to like to use emojis for this. Let's maybe take an apple. Isn't that quite appropriate? And from here, it's just about filling up, right? So that could be gift ideas in personal. It could maybe be some thoughts you have. In projects, well, I have YouTube going on right now. And here I could have a subnode for Obsidian video. There goes. And in that way, I use these folders as my main interface, you could say. So the main overarching thoughts that I can begin diving deeper into if I need to. But in general, when I need to find a file, I use Control O and I just search for the video I'm interested in. But if I need to find them through a folder structure, I have something sort of similar to it here. And that actually is it. I think this strikes a good balance between being something that you can easily work on with files easy to use while not having to manually sort every single file you create. So I hope this at least gave you some inspiration for your Obsidian journey. And hey, if you like this kind of stuff, feel free to drop a comment, like or subscribe. Let me know if you want to see more of this. But in any case, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.